Hello everyone, this is Kerem, the producer speaking. Just wanted to tell you beforehand that we've unfortunately had some audio issues while we were remotely recording this episode. I tried my best to fix it, so hopefully it won't bother you that much. And Andrew will explain in detail why during the episode as well. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the gang's conversation on this episode of the Vialucci podcast.
I just screenshot.
Oh, right. So we're recording from now. Hi.
Hello. Yay.
Hello.
Right.
And you might hear this throughout the show.
What is that?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. This is our new sponsor. That wasn't even pre-record. It's a company which, well, I'm not going to tell you it is actually till we're back in the studio and I can do it properly. But let's just say when everybody else did a zig, they did a zag.
Ooh.
I'll leave you with that. So I should have drank this
Nice one.
before. But anyway, so yeah.
They're going to see. People are going to see. People who choose to watch this on the on YouTube.
On the YouTube.
On the YouTube.
No, you can't see it from here because I'll tell you how I know. Because I tried to put our posters up. I bought fucking blue tack and I put our posters up on the wall, but then they were so small, they were like thimbles. I thought it doesn't really work, so I thought best to just leave it off.
Fair enough.
How's Charles's background kitchen looking? Oh yeah, it's got some more props there. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's he's photoshopped in some other things on the green screen.
We're trying to be a bit more prompt with the show because he's got Jamie Oliver coming in to film something about an hour.
I'm
and a
just
half.
waiting for it. I imagine it's on like some pull string, and it's just something.
Yeah, it rolls up. Yeah, it's
Just going to see
a
some
matte
horrible
painting,
little
yeah.
hole that I live in, yeah.
So this is our what was you going to call it? Our celebrity
Guide
to celebrity
culture, I
culture.
think
Yeah. What are you drinking? Is that your martini shaken not stirred?
Well, it's dark liquor, so it can't be.
Oh, okay. Have you got your bucket of water that you usually carry next to you, Charles? It's a fucking huge glass. Oh, look at that! Look. You should definitely have another Hobbit next to you to clink it.
It does, yeah.
So celebrity culture. I thought I'd start with the fact of does anyone know what the word celebrity means? There's a couple of meanings. French.
Well, I can guess what it's... I know what it's defined sort of loosely as, commonly defined as, I suppose. And that is, I suppose, being well-known or famous, particularly in entertainment and sport. That's sort of the common
Andrew, what was your
understanding.
So, celebrity, its origin is from in the late 14th century, whereas celebrité, spelled with an E, which would refer to a solemn rite or ceremony, and also from the Latin celebritatum, which means multitude or fame. And it was in the 16th century that it came to mean a famous person or the fame of a person. So I think it was a Ben Jonson play where a character referred to their own celebrity.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I just had celebrity. It said the state of being crowded, or celebritas, the Latin.
Oh, I'm just always curious, but yeah, I'm always curious by the...
So Latin, Latin, we got etymology within the Vialucci magazine coming soon.
Have we?
Yeah.
Available at all good news agents.
I can't remember if we did this word, but I've got no details, but the lady that was doing it, she said, she was telling me a Polish word for prostitute, but it actually means being on a corner. It means the corner of something where they would stand, and it actually means prostitute, like being on the corner.
Always useful to know when you're in Poland, I suppose, isn't it?
And it sets you up for the rest of the show. You now know what you're getting with the etymology, prostitution. That's where we
The
are.
level that we're at.
Yeah.
Always halfway between the gutter and the stars.
Yeah. So celebrity. Is there anything anybody want to bring up? I've got a few things, but does anybody specifically want to bring
I
up?
mean, I've sort of focused on the history of celebrity and where it came about. An interesting part, just because I got sort of slightly, as I often do with research, sidetracked, and it was kind of something I thought that occurred to me was because obviously another word for celebrity is stars, and it was, there's all this sort of theorizing about why we call famous people, why we call celebrities stars, and obviously it's about because heroes were often put into the heavens. So they became constant. So that wasn't the exact thing. It was people talking about it's the idea that they are the halfway between us mere mortals, and heaven is the star, and God and everything is the stars. But also that had me wondering if obviously people, obviously this is only in Western culture. But you look at perhaps that, I don't know what the constellations are, elsewhere, but obviously you think that ours are derived from heroic, not all, but a lot of them are derived from heroic Greek.
Is it all Greek mythology? Is it?
I think it's predominantly Greek, yeah.
Must have some Norse or something like that.
There might be Norse. I don't know if the Norse attributed anything to the stars other than using them as.
Well, they thought thunder was the hammer of Thor.
Yeah. I think they certainly would have believed, as most people do, that the elements were controlled by gods and whatnot.
But historically, it's Greek mythology, Leo.
That we use to, so that's why we draw.
That,
and also Babylonian, I think, for astrology. But it's as another side note. Any that you think you are not. You're about one off because of how the stars, as the universe expands. So the constellation that you were born under the star signs when these were written by, I think, Babylonians, you're off by about. Most people are off by about one.
I heard somebody a few weeks ago. He was discussing something with somebody, and he's going, "Yeah, I'm a something, but I could be the other one because I'm just on the cusp." I was thinking that doesn't make any sense. It's just so wrong. It's like the day Jesus was born, like the Christmas. You go, right? It's so off.
I read a book. I skimmed through a book, and it sort of said that that the moonstone is actually more apt in sort of people's personalities and stuff.
What do you mean, a moonstone?
The moonstone, I think, is calculated by
Avengers. No,
the moonstone. Yeah,
sounds like
the Infinity Gauntlet. But no, it's. I think it's calculated with your year of birth. So it's the month you're born in, but so your star sign, but also the year that you're born, and it goes around this cycle. So it's actually, it's a sort of. There's 2 or 3 different variables I think that go into this, and it sort of comes up a weird thing. I remember for me, I looked it up, and it said that I was a potential cult leader.
Oh, totally. Then
I was just like, okay. I was just like.
I can imagine you having your own sort of Judeo-Christian break off, some agnostic, sort of. You'd resurrect the Cathars or something like that.
Surrounded by ladies and have a tiger gas chamber and crematorium. Yeah,
but it'd be more of a cult leader in a Carry-On film than a sort of serious threat.
Would you change your name to? Would you be Doc and then something else? Be a fake doctorate.
Yeah.
So that's the celebrity, basically means what you said. Oh, do you know what? I remember seeing a psychic lady once, and she said to me, she said, don't date anybody who's a Taurus. Right, thought it was a load of old bollocks. Didn't even think much. It was only until I bumped into somebody, and this is years ago. And I said, oh, by the way, I saw that. She said, don't go for anybody a Taurus. What, you? She went, oh, I'm a Taurus. And I thought, oh, isn't that a coincidence?
You're like, bye.
Yeah, no, then I met somebody else. No, I'm talking about people I'd already met. I went back to them that I dated. And I said to somebody, this is like 4 months after. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, are you a Taurus? And go, yeah, how do you know? And I said, oh, I saw the psychic lady. Anyway, so I tracked down the other 2 people I dated, and they were all Taurus. What are the odds? Now, if you figured out the odds on one, you go, 12 or how many? 2, it starts getting a bit dicey. 3 and 4. And I thought, ooh, that's a bit iffy. But obviously it's all bollocks, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so
do you know the one? Okay, last thing on horoscopes. Do you know the one horoscope that is actually really good? The one in the National Enquirer.
Why is that?
I don't know, but it seems to come true. My mum buys the National Enquirer, right? Just for jokes, and she's like, "You'll never guess what your horoscope says." She loves all that stuff. And then
who's making the banging?
Interesting. Not me. It's not me.
Oh, it's Kerem. It's Kerem. He's doing some Foley work in the background. It's a frying pan. Literally going to go.
There's a storm coming.
Yeah. Right, so go on. Yeah, so you shoot.
But just the National Enquirer for some reason has a really good horoscope.
What is the National Enquirer? What is it? Is it a glam?
It's celebrity tittle tattle. Yeah. Okay. Like it comes in a literally newspaper quality paper, and it's weekly. It's an American publication. They had a bit of juice on this side of the Atlantic because turned out that the owner was a big friend of Trump, and that he'd paid for several big stories involving Trump, i.e., ladies he'd been fucking.
Yeah.
I think it was Stormy Daniels as well. I think he was sort of involved with that. And they were paying for exclusive rights and a non-disclosure agreement and sitting on the story, basically.
Yeah, it was all to stop her. They made it out like it was, we're going to publish your story, but because they got non-exclusivity, yeah. It just meant that then she couldn't take it anywhere else, which was something that I mean, it became a matter of public records, and then it didn't. All bets are off then.
That's quite a big thing, isn't it? National Enquirer. I thought it was. So is it just geared towards kids?
No,
it's always very scandalous. It's always stuff like it'll be quite often a photo, I'm sure doctored as well, of say a female celebrity, quite often looking slightly haggard or whatever, a bit tired, and it's like heroin addiction takes hold, weeks from death. Really? She's 35.
So it's like the Yahoo News of print.
Yeah, it just makes up. It just makes up absolute bollocks. But most people don't know what they're doing.
It's very salacious, very sort of gossipy.
I think any young journalist, if they want to feel better, if they're not feeling their skills are quite up to par, they should always read a Yahoo News journalism piece, and you're just scattered with wrong words, spelling mistakes throughout the bloody thing.
Quite funny, isn't it, when you read different publications and you go, I mean, who the fuck are we anyway?
So
but proofread it. I mean, they obviously don't have an editor, but just fucking proofread it, man.
Because it's about breaking the story. It's about getting it out there, not about quality.
Yeah, just dashing it out. Really.
Yeah, exactly. Just pebble dash and off it goes. So yes, celebrity. So I suppose, shall I bore you with sort of some history of celebrities?
Yeah, I've got a couple of things I'm going to bore you with. So you go first. You clear the way.
So obviously,
bore away. Yeah.
Well, obviously we talk about things. I mentioned about mythological characters.
Oh shit.
I've just kicked my can over onto my keyboard. Oh, bollocks. Hang on, I've got to get a tissue.
I'll talk. We'll have a chat.
Yeah, go for it.
We'll have a chat, Charles. So anyway, yes. So the idea is that obviously if you talk about first celebrities, really we're talking actually people who didn't exist. So, we're talking Hercules, we're talking Jason, all these kind of figures. And then it became more real, and it became athletes in the games, it became gladiators.
So it was sort of more legends and sort of folk heroes. Yeah.
The legendary status transmuted into real life people. So as I say, gladiators, athletes in the games, both in Greece and then in Rome. And then you even had people, for example, they made a point that Julius Caesar had his likeness put onto coins at a time where it was normally just gods and monsters and deities and whatnot.
Oh, they were on coins first, were they?
Yeah, and certainly not someone who was living as he was at the time.
So who would have been the first human, like Julius Caesar or somebody that important?
Not necessarily, but it's certainly in Roman culture we're talking here, because in Alexander, he had his coins, he had his face put onto coins because he ruled over such a vast empire. So it was like, that was how you knew who someone was, who was in charge. Particularly when you are ruling over a vast empire, this is the person who's in charge of everything.
Did the Nazis ever get to that point of having their own coin or their own money?
I don't know, but I'm sure they would have had. Yeah, they certainly would have had their own. It wouldn't have said like the Nazi money. It would have just been a Reichsmark or Deutschmark.
Yeah, Deutschmark.
Right. Yeah, I would. Yeah, but marks or whatever the term is. But yeah, certainly, I think you're right, Charles. I think it's Deutschmark even then. But it may very well have had Hitler's face on the note. Although paper money there was very much like literally a note,
a parchment.
Yeah, but a piece of paper that says
Hitler bucks. Yeah.
this note is worth this much. If you took it to the bank,
right,
you get this much back in silver, in gold, in whatever. Anyhow, so celebrities. So then that's who celebrities became, and obviously as outside of leaders and whatnot, you then had actors, you had playwrights, so you had people like Shakespeare, you had Burbage, and then in the sort of someone who we might recognize as a celebrity, i.e. someone famous for kind of being famous, would be Beau Brummel, who was a friend of the Prince Regent, who later became George IV, and he was basically famous. He was a soldier, but he was basically famous for how he dressed. That was it. because he was friends with the prince, and
how did he dress?
So it was to do with how, very precisely. So he would have neckties in an unusual fashion for the time. I think it's sort of predated. I know.
Unbelievable.
What a cad. But
yeah, ridiculous.
But he would, but it was also about the extravagance of how he had things cleaned. So, for example, to make sure his clothes didn't smell of soot, he had them hung up on hills miles from his house. So he would have these servants take them up and to be dried out in the fresh air. He boasted that his boots were so magnificently, perfectly polished was because he had them cleaned in champagne. I'm like, surely wouldn't that just make it kind of a bit sticky and whatever?
Yeah.
Whatever. But it was, so here's someone who's just famous for being famous, essentially for being, stylishly dressed, because that's a lot of celebrities. I think, perhaps we'll come to this in more detail, but I think celebrity almost has a slightly more negative connotation, or a slightly snobbish kind of connotation, versus someone who's famous, so I would say that for example, you could say all movie stars are celebrities, not all celebrities are movie stars. Do you know what I mean? So George Clooney is not a celebrity, I would say. He is an actor, he is a director, he's a producer. Yes, he is people take his picture because he's handsome, but I don't, he's not seen at all the swanky parties. Doesn't go dressed in some weird, doesn't turn up to a film premiere in a weird, funny hat because he wants the cameras to look at him.
But there are people that they do chase that, though. There are people. Because that's the thing is, I mean, ideally, celebrity should mean being well known for success and being well known for excellence in a field, or notoriety in a field, or whatever. You know what I mean? So you're a very good footballer, you're a very good actor, you're a great scientist, a teacher. Yeah, we're not there yet, are we, society? But yeah, there are people who do these things, and there is a celebrity culture separate from that, is what I'm trying to say.
I wonder if accidentally, we subconsciously, we use a celebrity for somebody that's quite low level. It means I don't know what they do. Do you know what I mean? If you saw an actor, you'd go, oh, he's a famous actor. Oh, who's he? He's a famous boxer. When you get the fact that they're quite shallowy professionally, you just go, oh, the celebrity. What does that mean? Sort of mean, I don't know, that's known for something. But when somebody's known for something specifically, you do tend to mention that thing. There's an actor. You don't go, oh, he's a celebrity if he's very well known for something.
Yes.
Yeah. It means they're not known for something, but they're famous. That's what celebrity is.
Well, they don't have like another skill. They're not.
They're just well known.
A writer or whatever,
Yeah, but not to the point where I know what their talent is. I just know them.
Yeah. They're just known for being known. Yeah.
What's the most? What is there a magazine that's the most famous for celebrities? Is that the National Enquirer? Would that be?
National Enquirer is a very big American publication.
Is OK Magazine that sort of?
There's all those ladies' mags, aren't they? Well, predominantly sort of aimed at women.
Ladies' mag.
Well, I think they're predominantly sort of aimed at women. You see all those stuff like OK, and like hello.
Yeah, hello. Yeah.
Slightly posher. Slightly more sort of middle classish aim, but it's the same thing though. It's all the. As I was thinking, it's very much fulfilling that need for gossip. You know what I mean? And like it's sort of gossip for people that you never know and will never know probably and never meet.
And will be gone soon.
Yeah. And as quickly as they rise, often they fall.
Yeah.
So it.
Was there a problem with your audio?
We've got technical issues.
Oh, that's
hello.
Kerem. I thought that was.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay, brilliant. Nice one. We know someone famous. There we go. And they're a proper celebrity. Excellent.
Who's a proper celebrity? Sorry.
Kerem's been on Hello, apparently. Or in Hello.
Why was Kerem on Hello?
I'll tell about it later. Let's just go on. Sorry.
Now I really want to know.
He wants to get back to the podcast. So the lowest level of celebrity has to be the reality show, isn't it? Really? I mean, there's nothing less than there. If you're known at all, you've got a celebrity, you've got a reality show. That's the low level. You haven't got a skill. Because
it's people who don't have a skill or a talent, and those people tend to have a limited shelf life.
Yeah.
Because they're not like, oh, I'll just go back to the football, or
they're easily replaceable people with a newer model, basically.
Yeah.
And we are back.
And we're back.
So,
Hooray.
Andrew, as soon as you cause a problem, would you like to explain where we've been?
Basically, Theo underpays us, so I'm using a really broken computer.
And I include myself in that.
Yeah, exactly. We're all underpaid at overwork. No, basically, my computer finally gave up the ghost and exploded, but I'm using a second one because I have two computers because I'm a decadent Western pig dog.
Yeah, so I can't remember exactly where we're talking about, so it might be a bit clunky. I think we started on reality shows.
Yeah.
So reality shows, and so basically, was Big Brother the first big reality show, or was there anything that preceded that?
Well, there was
Big.
this sort of 7 Up and all those, but they
7
weren't
Up?
really Yeah, well, there's
What's
sort
that?
of 10 Up and 7 Up. Those sort of shows where they followed some kids and then they sort of went back to them every 5 or 10.
Oh, never
20
heard of
years.
that.
They're sort of shows like that. They were sort of reality-based shows, but the reality shows, as we know, I suppose, is Big Brother. Really, that was the thing that kick-started it. Yeah.
What about the X Factors and all that? Are they reality shows?
Kind of, but they're more. There's more emphasis on the talent side of it. So, for example, I would define the difference between being Big Brother, all those kind of ones are like, let's just watch these people, let's watch the monkeys dance. So things like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I think you've got things like Jersey Shore, all of those kind of ones. And then
What's Jersey Shore?
Basically, like watch a bunch of trashy garbage people being garbage.
In America?
Yeah, in Jersey, yeah. I don't know. I don't think it has a particular theme. I mean, you have some
But what's
other
the ones where Love Island?
Yeah.
What is it like? What is they just get people and stick?
Yeah. They stick a bunch of horny young people.
Yeah, shaved chests
in a house.
Shaved chests.
Yeah.
Shaved chests,
All that steroids, shaved chests.
Yeah.
Bunch of slags,
Vain,
and then they all just fuck each other and then get into arguments.
Is there tears and
there's tears, there's slow music, there's like, so someone would be like and talking about how
the person that they loved for 2 days has now decided that
yeah.
He said I was his princess.
The funny thing is, I've never watched a single minute of them, but I know from just people slagging it off like what it is.
It's like the Kardashians. I know so much.
I've no idea what they do. That's the one where there was a porn actress who was a singer or something.
Well, so what happened? So what happened? Kind of was in a very potted history is that Robert Kardashian, I suppose, was on he was a lawyer. Or an attorney.
Yeah.
He was on the defense. He wasn't
father,
directly employed, but he worked on the defense team for O.J. Simpson.
He was his mate, weren't he, OJ?
Yeah, they were friends. So it was more an informal arrangement, but he was seen at the trial. Obviously, OJ was a big star.
The People versus O.J. Simpson, the TV show, actually has him in it because it's a sort of a dramatization of the trial, and that has him in it, and it has the young Kardashian kids in it. So
because they were friends of Simpson, of OJ, but they're also friends of Kris Jenner, as she is now. Kris was friends with Nicole. So
I don't know who you're talking about now. Kris Jenner and Nicole, who's that?
So Nicole Brown Simpson was OJ's wife.
Oh,
so you just think like they were just two friends, like two couples who were friends.
Oh, right.
And then they were friends with the Simpsons, and then obviously they broke. We know what happened. They broke up, and then OJ murdered her. Let's not pretend otherwise. Yeah. And so they kind of they were sort of known-ish because they were friends with with the Simpsons, so they would have been seen out and about with them. But then Rob, being on the defense team, brought them some level of celebrity.
He was played by the guy at Friends, wasn't he?
He was played by David Schwimmer in the drama. Yeah, but he died, and then they were just sort of again, just I guess. Sort of teeny tiny celebs. I think Kim Kardashian was Paris Hilton's personal assistant. So again, someone famous for being famous, and we can go into that.
Why was Paris Hilton? Did she have a reality show?
Yeah, she had loads of things. There was one where her and
with that ugly blonde girl. Yeah,
that's nice.
Well, she wasn't that ugly, but she was just very plain. You know what I mean?
Right. She was Lionel Richie's, I believe, adopted daughter. I want to say her name was Nicole.
That's a claim to fame, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but again, just celebrity, celebutantes, I believe is the term, celebrity debutantes.
Was she the one? Did she kill herself? That's Lionel Richie's daughter.
No, I don't think. No, I think she's still alive. I believe.
Are you sure? I thought she committed suicide.
I'm not sure.
She was on drugs.
Yeah, I think she's had some issues, but as far as I'm aware, she's kind of stepped out of the limelight. Obviously, Paris Hilton got famous for, as well as being from the Hilton, fortune, and again being, out and about with the tiny dog.
Yeah.
Also did a sex tape, and that brought her fame. Then Kim Kardashian, who was kind of just known as, she'd pop up in whatever shows, she'd be on Paris's right arm, then did a sex tape with somebody. I want to say his name is Ray J, but I may have also just made that up. And that brought her enormous attention.
Why
though?
That was Why?
It. Just because, why does anyone,
just
whatever.
Trash. Just
exactly.
Up the bin. Just tipped over the bin, grabbed
and she was famous for having a big bum, and I guess because I don't know the origins of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I think it was just that these are famous people who are willing to share every possible single aspect of their life. By that point, Rob Kardashian had died. Kris Kardashian, as she was then, had then married Bruce Jenner, who was quite a big, famous athlete in America. I can't remember which Olympics he competed at, but basically America won hardly anything relatively, did not do as well as normal, but he won, I think, at least 1 or 2 golds, and was suddenly, they parlayed that into, his, big success out of these supposedly failed
Is Olympics. He the one that turned into a woman?
He underwent transition, and he is now known as...
Caitlyn?
Again, he's...
Caitlyn.
Yes, thank you. Yeah,
I feel like I've heard that name.
Yeah, so keeping with the theme of everyone...
But what did his missus do then? His wife?
So she's... I don't know what she does, but she's the matriarch of the family.
Well, she's their publicist / agent. And she's actually done relatively clever job, I think, because none of those girls particularly have any talent or any skills, and they made an awful lot of money between them.
So what's the fellow who's a woman? What does he do now? Is he still being followed with a camera crew?
I think he's had his own sort of, because there's been a great deal of public interest in him, because I suppose it would be the equivalent of if Linford Christie transitioned to a woman. Obviously there would be public interest in that. I mean, there was the boxing promoter,
I was just thinking
Frank Warren, whose name now escapes me.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
I can't
wasn't
remember.
she on Big Brother?
And she was, she was on post transition, so she was on Celebrity Big Brother. But I'm not being flippant. I just can't remember what her name is now.
Just in this couple of minutes talking about it, just the
I mean, I felt myself get stupid at more.
Yeah, stupid. I don't know what this is, like a tentacled.
My mum used to watch the Kardashians quite a lot because she was.
You were just out in your mum left, right, and centre. You actually watches.
Her thing was like, what do they do? She was like, I don't understand why this is on TV, and she was just constantly watching it, confused, just going, why is this on TV? How do they make money? What do they do? What is the point
it's a
of
freak
the show?
show.
It's endorsements. It's because there's this half sisters, I believe, from the second marriage. So from Bruce Jenner to Kris Jenner, Kris Kardashian. I don't know if she's what her surname is now. I don't know if she's gone back to her maiden name or whatever. Anyhow, I think they had 2 children together, or certainly he had children. Maybe they're stepsisters, and so one is a model, and the other is makeup. I want maybe lipsticks. I don't know.
One of them made a ton of money, didn't she?
Yeah, she is like the youngest billionaire, but whether that's actual liquid cash billion or
shares or share options,
or worth a billion.
Stock,
But so those 2 I know do that. Of the Kim Kardashian, I guess, is sort of they kind of famous for being famous. They probably all have clothing lines. They probably all have thingies. Yeah, I mean, she's married to Kanye West.
Kanye West.
Is that your Kanye West impression?
Yeah.
I didn't realise he was an 80s superhero. Kanye West.
Oh, I don't know why I agreed to do this. I don't know why did I do this. I've got a couple.
It's just going to make you angry, isn't it?
Yeah, just got a couple of because I don't know what it is. I don't know what we're doing. Why are we doing this? Why
what?
Why this a thing?
But then, like I said, like I was saying, there's always been celebrities.
But there was a reason. When did celebrities become nothing? Like having
I suppose famous for being famous. That's the I can
I'm just going to throw us off the scent by reading a couple of quotes. Fame is a mask which eats into the face. That was a good quote. I don't know who said it, but I heard it through Stephen Fry quoting somebody else. Must be fairly recent if it's because it's saying it's fairly. Does that ring any bells? Do you know who said that?
No.
I've heard the quote before. I can't remember who said it.
We can probably Google the answer, but then I'm reluctant to touch anything on my computer.
Don't touch it. Yeah.
I'm not even pressing stop on the recording. I'm just going live forever now.
I remember somebody saying that if you're going to be a celebrity, you have to be a celebrity over the age of 30, because then if you do it below 30, it will define how you think. You've got to have a sort of personality set before the celebrity comes along. Otherwise, it would just make you more hollow and childish and naive and things like that. You'll never grow.
I mean, there's certainly something to be said for child stars who, broadly speaking, have not. There's always exceptions to the rule. Kurt Russell was a child star, and I would say that he's a reasonably. I don't know anything. I mean, I don't know anything about him.
Doesn't he?
Yeah, but he seems like he's a well-rounded human.
Like
but that was then. If you're a 20-year-old celebrity now who's come off of Love Actually, whatever the thing's called,
well, a lot of them have killed themselves, haven't they? Or a relatively high proportion from shows like Love Island.
Because if you think you get that fame for 2 weeks when you were at Tesco's beforehand, then suddenly you're in all the magazines, and then a month later you are gone. And your ego's been built up to you think you're this.
It's also, I think for a lot of them, it's also, there's been accusations that the aftercare, as it were, in inverted commas, of preparing people for this is it now. You are. I think you said once about the cast of Friends that the producers took them out for dinner and said, this is the last time you'll be able to anonymously go out and have fun. And it's the same. I think that you go from being... Because also you're in the bubble. They don't know what the wider world is saying.
Yeah.
It doesn't say, how they're being portrayed in inverted commas. They might, so everyone thinks you're a bitch or a bastard or whatever. Just not be generalised.
A massive prick. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone hates you, but you're like, well, I was just, playing the game, blah, 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 whatever. And suddenly you come out to this and you open your phone and 11 billion tweets telling you you're a piece of shit or that they love you, and suddenly that probably knocks you for six as well.
But the best thing about it is that when the door shuts and now there's a new series of whatever show and you're nobody, to have to crawl down again, back the ladder down, back to nothing.
Yeah, I'm sure there's very few. I mean, again, part of this is we think about celebrity in general, but we talk about celebrities, we talk about Western celebrities, but there'll be actors in India, in Bollywood, big actors, we'll have never heard of, and they're getting audiences of 1 billion people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then in that country, in India, they might not have heard of some people who we think are mega famous, and it even crosses over to America. I mean, I was playing one of those guessing, those games where you hold up the phone and it's who are you? And because it was skewed American, it was like, I don't know who these fucking people are. I can't help you out. So it's the same, when people go over to break America, particularly singers, sometimes it's, they have to go back, they could be mega successful here. They've had loads of hit records, but they have to start again in America or start again in Japan or start again in Europe, on mainland Europe, wherever. I mean, it's easier now because of you pop a song on YouTube, and apart from in countries where it's restricted, everyone can see that song. Yeah. So that makes it easier.
There's Rick. I have a problem with people that watch reality TV, because the main bulk of people that watch it, even if you're slagging it off, it's only you're the one that's keeping it on air.
Yeah, absolutely. But
I mean, I don't say, watch it.
Are we not guilty of perpetuating that by having a podcast about celebrities?
No. Why? That doesn't make any sense. No.
Sometimes I like to watch people suffer.
Right. See,
Like,
but
they
what
literally get a bunch of stupid people who are detestable, horrible people who you despise, and then you just stick them in a room and they all just kind of kill each other for a bit of chicken.
Yeah, but
I just think, well, that's kind of sport. You know?
My point is that what you've just said, that you're everyone. You're not a freak. You're everyone. Everyone says, I only watch it, but I can only do this. And you go, yeah. That thing of I only watch it because that you're the audience. You pay for it to be on by watching it. If I see any reality TV, I immediately turn it off. I keep away from it. Even if I'm at a gym and it's on the TV, I won't look at it because I feel like every eyeball that goes on it is paying for more of it. So I immediately remove myself from anyone that's got that sort of shit in it.
I mean, I can't watch Love Island. I remember I watched it for like 2 or 3 minutes, and it sounds very snobbish, but I watched it for 2 or 3 minutes, and I was just like, it made my skin crawl, and I was like, I don't get it. And so
there's a little bit of that. I mean, for me, often with I've watched the odd one. I think we said previously on a podcast about Big Brother that there was interest in that because it was like, oh, what is this thing? Because it was probably the first big, I think I watched maybe the first 2 or 3 because then it was like, oh, that Big Brother show's back, and then it became, there was 2 series a year, and there was a celebrity thing. You went, I feel like we've done this now. I sort of kind of feel the same with the talent shows. I'm like, well, if you see one, you can basically pick it out every year. You go, oh, here's the young guy who's kind of a little bit shy and blah blah blah, and it turns out he was raised by his grandma. Here's the
everyone's got a fucking sob story.
Oh yeah. But you just go, okay, here's the lineup. So we've got fat black girl cries a lot. You've got a skinny guy who lives with his gran and is he's a treasure. You've got crazy foreign person. You're not even sure they know what's going on.
Somebody whose friend died.
You've got wholesome boy band. You've got slightly slutty girl band. You know what I mean? It's just the same. And you've got 50-year-old woman who is an amazing singer but looks a bit wacky. That's your lineup every year.
And then Honey G.
Who is just, is Honey
legends.
G.
Yeah, just
she's
legends.
the most Honey G style Honey G.
Who's Honey G?
Don't fucking ask, Theo. Like, you
She's
don't. You'll be...
I mean, it doesn't sound good. I'm assuming she's not a writer.
No. She's a 40-year-old woman who wears sunglasses so no one will realise she's 40 and works in a estate agents or something.
It's weird because when you said that, I felt a bit sick. Like I felt a bit sick.
That's why I'm saying don't look her up, Theo. You'll be happy.
Yeah, I don't need any more crap in my head. I don't want any more stress in my head.
She was gangster bling. She was like some middle-aged woman from like The Office, and she wore like kind of gangster stuff and went yo.
It was what I know. I was long out of X Factor by that point because it used to be something where you would, watch. You go, oh well, I watched the freak show auditions. And then even then you went, okay, I've seen all the freak shows now. I don't need any more. I mean, that's part of the appeal, I would say, of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, is let's watch people who are much richer than us and whatnot debase themselves. And there is a kind of vicarious schadenfreude about that.
But there's always the thing that that it's celebrity on the way down. That's the sad thing about it.
Yeah, usually. I mean, every once in a while, though, I watched... I don't think I watched the most recent. I don't know if it was the most recent, but there was one year, and you went, "These people are." It was very odd, and other people I spoke to who still watched the show, they were like, "Yeah, they've done really well this year." Because I said, "I actually know who these people are."
Maybe they must have reached the point where it's becoming a laughing stock. So they thought, "Right, we've got to pull out the big guns."
Well, I think also because they got a lot of flack because people went, "All you're doing for this reality show is pulling people from other reality shows."
Oh God!
And there was a lot, so I can't remember how many people go in. Let's say 14 people go in to begin with. 10 of them are reality stars who've only been. Who gives a shit? We know that they're going to debase themselves. And this particular year, it was actually I was like, oh, I might watch this. It was Harry Redknapp, it was Noel Edmonds, it was Emily Atack, it was Fleur East. So it was people who that means nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I
could have just made up some names, but I was like, oh, okay, so he's a very famous football man. I must know who Noel Edmonds is. Come on.
Oh, that was the only one I knew, Noel Edmonds.
Yeah, but
who's Fleur?
So she was a singer on the X Factor, but again, she won I think she either won or did very well. But it was like, it's only 2 years ago, but whatever.
So they're having people on reality shows that are famous from other reality shows.
Oh, that's quite common. Yeah, they literally get on the circuit.
So eventually you go, where did this person come from? Did they have a history? Were they born, or did they just exist within reality TV?
Yeah.
They were
What's that
clumping up,
painting
yeah.
with the stairs that go up ways and down ways?
I know what you mean.
Escher.
Yeah, it feels like where am I? Have they any backstory, or is this like were they created like as an animation?
Because they had something with it was X Factor Celebrity, because years ago there was a Celebrity X Factor, but they kind of seem to have retconned that out of history.
So famous people that could already sing?
No, this one bizarrely. I'm not even sure that was word. I think they did certainly one series. They might have done two of Celebrity X Factor.
But they must have all been able to sing, though.
No. Broadly speaking, it was a right mix. So there were people you were like, fucking hell. One couple on this again may mean nothing to you, Theo, was James Hewitt and Rebecca Lewis. And for ages, I was like, why is this a combination? I was like, oh, because they fucked famous people. Like, so it was So James Hewitt is / was, I don't know if the person's dead. Anyway, is an alleged lover of Princess Diana.
Oh.
And
that's not a celeb. That's his claim
and then
to fame.
Rebecca Lewis was someone who had an affair allegedly with David Beckham.
Oh,
so they were put together in a duet. I mean, you had people like radio DJs.
That is not famous. That's not a celebrity.
I know. I'm not. Yeah. So then. There was a very mixed bag, so some of them couldn't sing at all. They did X Factor Celebrity, so it was really weird. You were like, I don't know, Celebrity X Factor makes more sense grammatically. Anyway, they did that, and those people, all of them, as far as I could gather, could sing from what I saw of it. But it was quite interesting. You were like, oh, okay, so this time they've decided not to go straight for laughs. Let's try and get people invested in this because we've got people who can actually sing. I mean, again, some of them you were like, who?
Yeah,
but you know, who the fuck am I? That's probably what they're thinking. So
that's the thing. Is like if you've ever been like on a tabloid website like the Daily Mail or the Express, they have
just
like
outing your mum again.
These. Sometimes I do, you know. Like I go on the Mail quite a lot just because I'm just curious what idiots think. Basically, and what kind of things what kind of racist opinions most people are carrying today. Oh, okay, that's a bit of research. But they always have like the celeb bits, and they always have like basically like pictures of attractive women. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. So I click on the thing because it's got pretty women on it, and then I'm like, it goes so and so is going out here, and I literally have no idea who any of the people are. And I literally have to Google them. I literally have to I have to highlight them and Google them. I'm like, oh, it's
I have to highlight them and Google them and go to Google Images.
Google Images.
Is that right, Charles?
What's Google Images?
So that's just pictures.
Yes, that's how you look at pictures for research.
But how do you look the picture up if you don't know what you're looking at?
Because I'm just Googling names of attractive ladies and then look at their pictures.
But it's Google.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's this. Oh God!
Right, let's just skip on track.
Yeah, just don't worry, Grandpa. There's
another quote here about fame. Fame is like a sugar; tastes great to start, but if you try and survive on it, it will become your poison. Do you know write that?
Rot your teeth. Yeah.
Do
I know who wrote that? Yeah. Marilyn Monroe?
No, it was me.
Oh.
So there you go. That's a little quote. You can cut that. Internet. You can have that. Put that out.
You were going to be I was thinking like somebody curvaceous. It's a sex symbol. It's either you or Marilyn Monroe.
Well, you're half right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got to stop talking about reality TV. It makes me feel sick when I think about it. I'm angry at the world for going back down a slide.
Did anyone watch though The Masked Singer?
No, I know of it. It's where people turn up in silly costumes you can't, and such outlandish costumes that you can't figure out, in theory, who they are behind the mask. And
they're supposed to be well known.
They were mostly. I was a bit like, oh, okay. Like when they revealed them, I was like,
are they famous?
Yeah, I vaguely remember them.
Oh right, it's like that sort of thing. Right.
It was all like C-list people from like 15 years ago. like had the guy from the lead singer of The Darkness on it, and someone else like a TV presenter from to the 2000s. I'm like, yeah.
Well, do you remember Nirvana with the baby floating baby? The album with the floating baby, Nirvana.
Yeah, that's Nirvana. Yeah, Nirvana.
What happened to them?
Well, Kurt Cobain died.
Yeah,
Is he
Kurt Cobain shot himself.
Oh right, Kurt Cobain. Remember that name?
Yeah.
Was that their only album?
No, they did.
They did
half a dozen albums, I think.
6, 7, 8.
Yeah, between full LPs and EPs. Yeah, I think it was about 6.
Has anyone got any other thing else to say about reality TV?
No.
It's some of it's a guilty pleasure, I have to say.
Yeah, but you have to understand. Then you're the mass. You're the mass.
Yeah,
you're the people saying I only watch it because that's why the show's on there.
There's a difference there. There are some shows that get people on. There's some shows where the show creators are in on the joke.
Yeah, I don't.
And there
are
some where they're not.
I don't
watch the ones where they're not, but there are some that they literally get all these shit people on, and this just fuck with them. And like,
that's my thing.
You're in on the joke.
I don't mind documentary style stuff. I don't mind people being filmed doing things. Okay, that could be quite interesting. It's the manipulation of idiots. That's when things start to become manipulated. That's what I think. Well, this isn't of interest now. You're creating lies with idiots. There's not like you could say cooking show's a reality show. Go, okay, well, fair enough, people. But when you start messing around with it and it's just for show and there's no substance at all, why am I talking about this? I want to get off the celebrity culture. So before Hollywood, when was Hollywood start? 1920s, something like that.
Slightly earlier than that.
So pre-TV, pre-film.
No, not. But so most of the film industry was in the East Coast, and then a few sort of famous. A few famous and also successful filmmakers basically went west and founded Hollywood. So that was Charlie Chaplin, D.W. Griffith.
So what would it have been called before? There was no Hollywood before then.
Hollywood was just the area, yeah. So but Hollywood is not a thing. It just became.
It's because there was cheapish land and the light was very good. It was a lot of it was the lights. They had very good light there, very long days, very bright sun. So it was just
funny.
very.
I had some when I was staying in Malibu and had some photographs just from a phone. And it's amazing how good the light is. Just like from the light here, whatever it's doing it well.
Yeah.
I didn't go up there again. Somebody said, you get mountain lions up there. And I was thinking, is that a joke? And I went, no, you do get them up there. Yeah. I was thinking, oh, fuck me. I was running across the fucking field.
So I reckon you could take a mountain lion.
I've thought about that quite a few times because I thought, right, what would I have done then if it come at me? I was trying to think, how does a cat fight? You can't turn your back. That's the main thing. It has to see your eyes. That'll slow it down a bit. And then you have to create confusion. Right, this isn't about celebrities.
Well, that's the next thing. Celebrities versus mountain lions. Coming this fall.
Well, the thing is, are we slagging something off that hasn't even reached the bottom yet? Like, could we get back down to the, celebrities fighting a lion or something? Maybe.
I'm sure we'll... Yeah, I think
we have to push the barrier all the time until there's some sort of religious thing that pushes back. It will just keep going down. The freak show will keep going.
There's always things that go too far and then they get reined in and too far and reined in, and it finds its level.
But that's only really down to fascism or religion, isn't it, really?
I think it can also be public taste can say that this is not, there's almost a collective that says, actually, no, this is distasteful now.
I wish I was born in a different era.
Like what?
I mean, I wish I was born in the 50s instead of like the 60s.
Oh yeah, so that would be great. During the height of the Korean War, the Cold War, you still had rationing. That's a lovely time to live.
I'm not in Korea.
Yeah, but there's a war going on. You're waiting.
No, I think I would have been annoyed at syphilis or World War One.
Yeah, exactly. There'd be people still dying of polio, and there's still rationing in.
So was there ever a good time then?
The best time to be alive is now.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, maybe I don't realise how.
The thing is, look, the problem is
except for the fact you can't go down the shops properly.
But this has been. Let's be honest. This has been and it's all, again, not to make light of it, but it's all for the people. But we're still talking. It's been 4 months of coronavirus out of. But
really only a month of feeling it, really.
The impact, So in terms of every other measure of human quality of life, it's better. More people have access to education, have access to water. Infant mortality rates are going down, or whichever one means better. I don't think
literacy rates have never been higher.
Yeah, my maths is terrible though still, but everything by every single possible measure.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
life is better now than it's ever been. Pardon, sorry?
Apart from reality. No, you'd have to say TV, but even then, you got Netflix.
Yeah, but they didn't have TV. You know, it's like when old people go, we didn't play on our PlayStations. You didn't have them, okay? And you look at old pictures. You look at old pictures of people on the trains, and they're all reading newspapers.
Yeah.
You know, so there's not, we didn't have our heads. Yes, you fucking did. You just don't remember. You didn't have your heads in iPhones because you didn't have them. And, you know, people go, well, in my day, well, you know, in your day, you know what they had? They had the Second World War and they had the Holocaust. So which is a better, you know, so who's doing better?
Love Island or the Third Reich?
Exactly.
Answer the question, yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, I think I mentioned before, I've been listening to a podcast called Evil Genius, and they just, so many times they just go, look, at the end of the days, anyone born before 1930 and probably even 1950, it's hard not to find someone who isn't anti-Semitic or racist in some way. You know, so all these people going, it was back then, that's an imagined history that you weren't part of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we've got sort of antibiotics and sort of pain relief.
Yeah, exactly. You know, everyone goes, it was back in the day. What, when there was shit running in the streets?
And now it's on the TV.
Yeah, when most people were basically peasants and starving. That's better, was it?
Yeah. To quote Russell Brand, he said, "Remember in the days like before mobile phones, like when you were like 15 and you went to your mate, I'll meet you outside of HMV tomorrow at 3. And then sometimes he used to go to HMV and like something would happen and he wasn't there. Like, his mum would let him out, or he lost his bus fare or something. And he goes, and you just go there and like you just wait half an hour and no one went, so you just went home." Like,
see, the thing is, that is the one thing. Mobile phones have given everyone the license to be late. Because they can be en route and then text and say, "Sorry, mate, I'm running 20 minutes late." Yeah. In the pre-mobile phones, if you were 20 minutes late, you would have been you were scum of the earth because you kept your friend waiting and you've broken a promise. That's it.
Well, they might not be there. That's the thing. You turn up, they might not be there.
I'd like to go back to a world. If you start talking about what time, I would like to go back to a world that was just before mobile phones, reality TV, and Blockbuster was still around. I think that was a good time.
1997.
Yes.
I think that
the
time,
Matrix then, Theo.
It feels like there was a sort of 5-year window where it wasn't with PlayStations. You know, it was all the future.
Should have just peaked at 99. 99 was a good time because you had phones, but it was still like, the Nokia. I've got.
Yeah, they were an accessory. They weren't a thing you lived in. Yeah. Blockbuster was still around.
Because we don't want to not have the Matrix. Come on.
Well, I couldn't live in a world without the Matrix.
Come on. Ironically, we want a world with the Matrix. Come on.
Oh God!
I was thinking the other day though, someone was going on about like truth. I was watching some video in this debate about like what is truth, what is reality, and I was thinking, does it kind of? I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you were living in the Matrix. It doesn't really matter if you were living in the Matrix or weren't. It would still be the same thing.
It doesn't matter if you know there's a Matrix, but you can't live in it. Then there is no Matrix.
Yeah.
And how do you know there's a Matrix? It doesn't make any sense. Well, mind you, say heaven could be another. You don't know it's there, but.
But as long as you have a shared conception and a shared agreement of things, then
as long as we know the paradigms we need to live with, and just concentrate on that.
And also, if we all repeat that the Earth is not flat.
Imagine if it turned out it was, and we've just been looking at the lie was so big that we actually couldn't see it since children.
Remember, it was something like there was a meme where it said something like, "Scientists in 1969." Hooray, we've landed on the moon. Scientists in 2019, for the last time, the Earth is round.
Yeah. Well, I do feel like we're slipping backwards. We absolutely, Well, look, Trump,
again, with coronavirus, you know, that, it's all part of a conspiracy to do this and do that, and 5G is giving you coronavirus and lizard, fucking David Icke's
lizard
back.
people. Yeah.
Oh, cry. Oh, yeah, he must be doing well, yeah.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Ofcom investigating him because apparently he did an 1.5-hour documentary on London Live or London TV.
And it was YouTube streamed as well, I believe.
Oh, okay. Ofcom were investigating him because he was saying that it was all 5G and a Chinese conspiracy, and it wasn't. It was a hoax, basically.
I'm just why would anyone? It's because people have forgotten who he is. Because he's been gone
he
for
still
20...
sells out. He still sells out those tours.
But he's been gone from sort of TV. Yeah, but he's only selling to the convert. He'd only been previously selling to the converted people who think he was. Yeah. But otherwise, for 20 years, no one's going to put him on TV apart from to laugh at him.
Oh fuck no! Yeah.
If you if I can take a little poll, if you was to give me 3 good celebrities each, who would you like? What would you class as a good celebrity?
Good celebrity.
Yeah, somebody that's like, well, that's a good version of a celebrity. Film, song.
Yeah, as you were saying earlier, I think celebrity has a negative connotation to it.
A well-known person that you admire.
Well-known famous person.
Yeah.
That I admire. Fuck. Who do I like? Who's all right?
So just think of that, though. Think with all of them out there, you're struggling.
Yes, it's more to do with narrowing down to 3, isn't it?
No, it's not.
David Attenborough. There you go.
All right, yes, good one, yeah.
Michael
Gary
Palin.
Lineker's all right. Seems all right, yeah.
Who?
Gary Lineker seems all right.
The football player?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, we are.
Sandy Toksvig.
Yeah.
Stephen Fry, I put him on there. Stick Stephen Fry on there. You can have that one in the bag.
Matt Lucas. No one's got a bad word to say about Matt
Who's
Lucas.
he again?
Come on.
The gay fella?
The little bald guy from Little Britain. Everyone who's ever met him always says, lovely chap. No,
but you've gone
for
for like rather than admire. Like, that's just a bloke you like. Like, admire. You'd think there'd be a load.
Who do I...
I mean, I suppose you could throw writers, and I think Malcolm Gladwell's quite admirable. But there's not a lot of like, oh, I'd like, that's an amazing person. Politics, nothing.
No, they're all just guys.
Bernie Sanders, I'd put him on there, actually. I'd bung Bernie Sanders on there for somebody that's just... I suppose it could be classed as, he's famous, not a celebrity, but a well-known... But think of the world.
Hunter S. Thompson.
Oh, he's dead, isn't he?
Yeah, he's dead, but like...
Yeah, we can't go back into history. But that's mental.
He died about 10, 15 years ago.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. Andrew, give me somebody. Historical mind.
Jeremy Beadle.
Is he still alive?
No.
Oh, he died?
Yeah.
Oh.
Raised an enormous amount of money for charity, but didn't,
Had a little hand, didn't he?
He did, yes, lovely.
He did have a little hand,
he raised an enormous amount of money for charity without making a big song and dance about it.
Yeah.
And just tell me something wrong about it. Tell me the time you thought, oh, he's a bit of a jerk, actually.
Didn't get involved with kids, lived and died without getting accused of anything to do with kids of that era. So that's nothing. Tick.
Which is quite stunning.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like in the 70s and 80s, yeah.
I remember seeing Frank Skinner was doing the stand-up and he was talking about it. He said, like, it's a bit hard time for blokes with grey hair. He said, I'm expecting the knock on the door even though I haven't done anything. He said, I can't relax.
I would put Kenny Dalglish in there.
Who's that?
Kenny D.
So he's a football player and manager, Theo.
Yeah.
Do you know the Hillsborough disaster?
Oh, yeah.
So he was the manager of Liverpool when that happened.
Oh, back then?
Yeah. So he went to quite a lot of the funerals.
Oh, right.
Including 4 in one day. Because he wanted to make sure that there was someone from Liverpool representing, someone representing the club at the communities, amongst the community at this time.
But we've all sort of gone back. You've got me Hunter S. Thompson. You've gone back to a dead manager.
Kenny Dalglish is still alive. No, Kenny Dalglish is still alive.
Oh, he's still alive?
Knocking around, yeah. I heard he was ill, actually. I heard he got coronavirus.
He did, but they've said he's recovering now. So fingers crossed for Kenny.
Yeah. So celebrity, back to trying to pull it back onto celebrity. So I think the word celebrity does definitely mean a sect lower than somebody that's well known, world famous. It's the lower level. It describes
I mean, Bill Gates is
level.
famous, but he's not a celebrity.
Yeah. Richard Branson's fallen from grace in my mind. The sort of veil of who he was has fallen with all this NH trying to claim back the money off the government for his financial problems at the moment.
And just the antics of Virgin Healthcare as well over the last couple of years have been absolutely appalling.
Yeah, and the problem is when you look into his story, like personal development, I looked into him, and it's like, well, your parents were rich and you got away with murder. Like you went to private school, you should have gone to jail, you should have had a criminal record, which meant you wouldn't have had an airline, which would have meant, but they were paid off, and you go, oh God, it's not even there. Even you're just a nice bloke who isn't actually that nice because even you cheated on your wife. So it's like a big concoction that you're this person because you've got a nice smile. I mean, that's sort of like what he amounts to.
Yeah.
Has he still got his island? He had that famous
Probably.
island, didn't he?
I'm always suspicious of anyone with a private island.
It's an odd thing because it's a lot of money to weigh in. For what are you getting out of this? Is it just?
Well,
I think certainly Jeffrey Epstein has brought down the notion of having a private island.
It's like, what are you up to that you need like 100-mile buffer zone between you and the nearest cop? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can the police just turn up to that island, do you think? Or would you need
it would have to be whoever's jurisdiction it was under.
Yeah.
Oh, he hasn't. Yeah, it's not the.
So
area,
if it was in territorial waters or wherever, it would go.
Where is it? Where is his island?
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
But I mean, I suppose the idea is you'd have to get a warrant just to step foot on the island. You know, if it's someone's private island, rather.
Yeah, but I was thinking who owns the sea around them, sort of thing.
Oh, they might own the sea up to a certain point, but again, if you've got a warrant to search the territory, then that includes the waters, I suppose, so you can enter.
And you can go on there if you've got enough money. Yeah,
famous people can. He invites people over, whatever.
Yeah.
For satanic rituals, probably.
Yeah, whatever. Worshipping the god Moloch. Yeah.
Oh, Moloch, that's the theory.
Yeah, Moloch. Yeah, throwing babies in the fire to Baal. All the fun stuff.
So, what do you see? Do you see a celebrity changing much? I think the Bollywood thing, Asian culture seems to be on the uprise, doesn't it? Like with the Indian, the Chinese.
I think it'd be quite interesting to see what happens with Chinese culture. If China opening up to the world or no. And seeing, because obviously we're getting, American films are still trying to crack the Chinese market. I mean, they're doing, broadly speaking, quite well at that. But it's because they're only allowed a certain number of pictures to be released, and they can be /are censored sometimes, particularly if there's LGBTQ characters in there.
And ghosts. They're not allowed ghosts.
Yeah, they have a thing about you're not allowed to have ghosts horror films. So Harry Potter, for example.
Why not?
Well, I think because China has always had a long history of, I don't know, but this is speculation, that because China's had a long history of ancestor worship, then the idea is that then this is something muddling with that. That would be my guess. I mean, also, who knows? Maybe it's this like communist ideal of there is only this life, this reality. Yeah. You've all got to muck in and.
But I know the new Ghostbusters remake was banned there because it's sort of ghosts, basically.
Yeah. It's hard to slip that one past us.
When
the film's called Ghostbusters.
We'll edit the ghost bit out, so it's just Busters,
It'd be like,
they're cleaners. They're a bunch of cleaners that currently clean.
But yeah, I think probably films are they're sort of becoming a bit more international. You know what I mean? And they are trying to have that, especially American films are trying to have that international appeal.
Well, I said to you before, the guy, I think it was a woman, she'd come out and she said, no, that it's part of their sort of taking over things, China. It's where they've been funding films and changing them to say, there's your script, but you need to put that in there. You'll have the money, but you've got to change that to that. You've got to put that person in there to that. They're literally, over the last 20 years, have been actively pushing the more Asian people into films, and purely with money, because they're funding things and they make changes. And America is on the back foot now. So I think I reckon in another 20 years, the whole movie industry is going to be completely different. I think it's the last days of it now. I don't think it's going to go anywhere else. The rest of the world is caught up now. America was out there up to the front, but they've slowly been catching up. And now you've got the Bollywood thing, now you've got the Asian influences. I think it's not going to be, I don't think it'll be there in the next 20 years. I think it's run its course.
As I said, I think things, in order to make the big money that they seem to be aiming to make, they try to appeal to as many people as possible. So you're going to get these very broad films. Yeah. You're going to get more of these broad films and more of these kind of less specific. When you look at films that were made even in 10, 15, 20 years ago, American films 10, 20 years ago, they were more American centric, and they certainly had more American elements of American culture, Western culture, and that's slowly kind of gone, really.
Yeah. When I was listening to the documentary, the podcast about the guy that directed Joker, and it was Michael, who's the one I like, but I don't like him anymore. Does all the documentaries, Michael Moore.
Okay.
And he said when he did the Joker, he said it was very good for the industry. He said because you had the pull to be able to do that, because you made billions of dollars for the film, you could actually had the pull to do this more like art house film. He said the industry needed that standard that you did to bring it all back down again, to stop being look. It didn't have to be this multi-billion-dollar production, there's computer graphics, but you needed somebody with the balls and the power to, because everyone was saying you can't do this, it's shit, it's not going to work, you're ruining this, you're ruining that. But the fact that he created that low-level thing does feel more like a storytelling. He said it's very good for the industry on the whole to see that.
I think aided as well by, it has to be said, an absolutely brilliant trailer.
I haven't seen the trailer.
Yeah.
There
was. Is that sarcasm or you been?
No, genuinely a great. We were talking. I think I was trying to catch up with our own podcast, and we were talking about female-led films, and we were saying that actually a big problem was the marketing was dreadful. The Charlie's Angel trailer, he was like, "What? Them trying on clothes? Why is that meant to make you go see a film that cost 200 million quid?" But I think the Joker was aided. He's a pop culture icon. Everyone on planet Earth knows who the Joker is, but it's not. We're not used to the Joker without Batman. But it was just an absolutely brilliant trailer. It's really good. The number of views it's got is crazy. But it's really well done.
You should really listen to the Michael. What was it?
Michael Moore.
I couldn't say Michael Winner. I don't know why. Who's
poor old Michael?
Michael Wynn's the filmmaker, isn't he?
Yeah, Death Wish and Hannibal.
And what was it? The Demons? No, what was it? The one with Oliver Reed and all the nuns.
No, you're thinking of. I know who you mean, but that's the Devils, but that's a different director.
Is it? Okay.
Who was actually in Big Brother in one series? Ken Russell.
Ken Russell. That was yeah.
I know where I know him from. Calm down, dear. It's
that's
calm down.
Yeah, so Michael Winner basically was a director, but made sort of.
That's all I know him from. Oh, he's a director.
What are widely regarded as not very good films, but he sort of became famous for kind of being a bit of a snob and being a bit of a character and a dandy, and he also became a restaurant critic.
Oh, right. I used to get him confused with Peter Stringfellow. Like I thought. Don't know. Grey hair, that age.
I don't think I could be mistaken. I think Michael Winner was married to like the same woman. I'm going to have to look that up now because I don't know. Because he might have been. I don't think he was a playboy in that sense. I don't think so.
I could see him with a silky shirt, but I don't know if it's him.
Michael Winner. There's some slightly unpleasant stories about him.
Oh, really? There we go.
Nothing massive. Well. Yeah, it's like not like as bad as some of the stuff we have heard, from people, but like he was a bit of a creep,
a bit of a cad,
and a little bit nasty to some of the female actors in his films.
I read you probably.
I see here. Actually, it does say that he was a bit creepy. In fact, more than creepy. In fact.
Okay.
I don't want to play it down. Basically, asking women to show him their breasts during auditions.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, so that's all right. So he's not a charming, lovable rogue.
No, he was mean to Maria Serta, so that's always.
Right. So celebrity. So with the podcast. We're going worldwide now to over 50 countries. We've got the pilot coming out, some other stuff that's going to be in the works. We all become famous and rich. And Charles, how do you think you handle it? World famous. What's your story? Do you move to America?
I'll be dead in 6 months on a filthy mattress, drug-bloated corpse. There we go.
How about Andrew? Andrew, how are you going to handle it? I think you'd be the most balanced.
Charles stole my idea.
No, I can definitely see you making it okay. I think you'd be a bit more balanced. You'd probably go to work, end up with once it all breaks down, you'd go to work with like an MGM or Sony or something like that. I can see you pushing some buttons at an important company. You'll sort of barely keep it on the rails, like you'll just hold on to the reins and then back on. I'll definitely get assassinated or something like that. I can definitely
by Kerem.
yeah. No, Kerem by then he'll have what will Kerem be? Kerem will have been successful with all the money. He'll start up his own audio company and he'll be doing. He'll going back to Turkey. He'll have opened up a school there and he'll be training people in audio. But he'll move to America. I reckon California.
I'm sticking with Kerem or
pulls the gun on me once.
Yeah, exactly. He'll just be like one time. You won't have seen him for like 5 years or something like that, you'll have your Bane death cult. Will have
I can see it starting, but the government will pull the plug on me as it gets going.
Kerem will just off. You'll think he's just paying you a visit, an old friend.
Yeah, like the mafia. He'll get me around your best friend.
Skadoosh, and he'll just stand over your corpse, screaming, "Thus with all tyrants."
Like the assassination of Jesse James.
Yeah. What was that now? The cowboy.
Yeah. Like it was about this guy who was like obsessed with like Jesse James, and like he just ended up murdering him one day. It's a good film. It's good film.
It's real life.
He like hangs out with him
Spoilers,
loads, and becomes like really good friends with him, and just murders him like randomly. Becomes a really like obsessed. It's about obsessed fan basically, I suppose. Really, yeah. Because he was kind of a celebrity at the time, minor celebrity, criminal gangster type, and then he just goes nuts.
Yeah, that's always the odd thing about people who assassinate celebrities. Be like, but what? Yeah, isn't it? It's is it Mark Chapman who killed John Lennon?
Well, that's because he was a phony. So, we read The Catcher in the Rye and thought that John Lennon was a phony. I think that's.
Well, I've heard this every few years. I hear this Catcher in the Rye thing. What is it? I know that I've heard of it, but I don't know why.
It's a book.
But what is it?
It's because some.
It's something young people read, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, I think you read it as an adult.
You get made to school. Yeah.
So, a quick synopsis.
So Holden Caulfield, I believe.
Yeah,
is basically an angry young jerk who hates everyone and everything and thinks
he's
everyone
an
is
angry
a phone.
Teenager, basically.
He's he's every insufferable teenager who's just started to form opinions,
right?
And maybe they're better read than you about this and that, but they don't. They just would latch onto whatever, and everything is fake, and everything is a phony, and everything's bullshit. And he just sort of rails against, the system. He's just mad at everyone.
What's the name of the author? I'm just writing it down.
J.D. Salinger.
Oh yeah, J.D. Salinger.
Yeah, I'll look that up.
So J.D. Salinger, who basically got enormously rich and famous and became a recluse, and basically just spent the rest of his life. Groupies would turn up at his doors. He just shagged them silly and then send them off.
So why is it a well-known book? What's the
because it sort of became a big overnight sensation. Parts of it were very hilariously. Parts of it was censored.
Yeah,
and
it's very tame now. It's very tame now.
You get
but
bits
at the time,
and you think, I wonder if this was
in the 50s or 60s, something 50s, I think. And it's very tame now, but for the time it was quite racy and quite edgy, and it was one of those things that was sort of banned in some.
You saw an ankle. You mentioned a knee.
Yeah,
but there were bits. Yeah, there were bits that were excised, and then there was all this big hoo-ha about released uncensored, and people were like, I wonder what's the censored bit. What's going on here?
I think you bought the wrong one. I think you bought the uncensored
one. Exactly.
One.
So it's.
Don't they say fuck once or something? I think that's.
Can't remember. There's lots of goddams and hells and and stuff. So maybe it's that.
It's very racy.
There's a pimp character, isn't there?
It's very racy for sort of 50s suburban America. It was very racy, I think. So.
I think also because he's going to. I can't remember if he goes to an actual school or if they just make up one, but it's a sort of one of these Ivy League type schools, and so the idea is that it's outraged America that some punk loudmouth kid would be at one of these type schools.
Yeah,
hating it as well.
We could do maybe a book review one day, like once a year. We have a book review or something like that.
What, once a year?
Yeah, I can't be doing too many of them.
It take me that long to read a book.
It's I remember when I was learning about all my films that I should have watched, and people were telling me, "Oh, you need to watch all these films. You need to watch this TV program. You need to read these books." I tried to go through books that people were telling me, and one of them was is it Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis?
Oh yeah.
I couldn't read the books. I had to listen to the audio book. But I didn't know what the fuck was going on. It was like one of the first books I read.
One day, Gregor Samson woke up and was a giant cockroach.
And I was trying to second guess what was going on. I was thinking, what is the storyline I'm missing here? But I had no reference to politics or anything in the world. So I was just thinking, what am I supposed to be getting? Is it something a bit loneliness?
Yeah, well, he just turns it. Well, he just wakes up and he's a giant cockroach, and then
but I was thinking with logic, and I'm
normal.
thinking, but hang on, why haven't they called the police? And why is this monster in the house?
Arrest?
Yeah, but that's what I was thinking. I was thinking too deeply about it. I was thinking, wouldn't they just freak out and call the police and run outside thinking their son's been eaten or something like that? I think, why is this acceptable? Why has he not just killed himself? Why is this? So I found out later. There's a lot more deeper meaning to it than that. But yeah, I think we could still do it. We could still give the young kids like a lesson on Animal Farm or something like that. It's not a cartoon. It's not just a cartoon.
It's also not a bestiality.
Yeah. But I can see a book, just to give us a bit of class, doing a little book review there, just to sort of bump up,
Yeah,
we're not as so that's celebrity culture. I think we've covered the history of celebrity culture and that sort of.
I mean, we spent the last half hour talking about books.
Let's call this the book review. We'll do the celebrity one after
the book show.
Yeah, if we can start
it's a classic. It's a classic meandering episode.
Freefall. Yeah. With a freestyle of podcasting, we sort of go wherever we want, man. We don't follow any rules, man.
Yeah, fuck your rules.
Bollocks.
All right, Holden.
Buck the system. We're the rock and rollers of the podcast. Is rock and roll even a cool word anymore? If you say like your rock and roll, it doesn't even it's gone.
I think it's more ironic, isn't it, now?
With the
what's the rock and roll word now? Punk has gone.
The R&B of podcast.
Nah. What's the Rolling Stones? What is that? Rolling? No, I thought it was Roll. What's the cool thing now? There is no rock and roll now. What's the edgy?
You're asking the wrong people.
Look, I'm just looking at the screen here, me included. What is that? It's so pathetic.
What's it? Like drill? My mate keeps trying to play.
No, that's
drill
not. That's
stuff.
temporary. All that shit.
I don't like modern hip hop, man. I don't like modern rap. Fuck that.
I don't think there is a more modern word for it. Well, anyway, so as I said, that's celebrity culture. I would just like to finish off on my quote, just for anybody who wants to sort of soundbite this.
Yeah.
Fame is like sugar. Tastes great to start with, but if you try and survive on it, it will become your poison. Theo X. You can have that internet.
The doctors will take your foot.
It leads to diabetes. So anything else to say on celebrity? You've got it all out your system? I feel worse off for talking about the reality TV thing. I'm just angry that people watch it. I'm angry that it's on. I'm angry that we put up with it. All of it.
I don't know. I like a bit of Gordon's Kitchen Nightmares. To be honest.
Oh, I like Hotel Hell.
I was doing a job once. I can't remember what I was doing. I think we was installing things in people's houses a few years ago, and on the kitchen TV. Do people still have kitchen TVs? Like TV in the kitchen? Yeah,
I guess so.
I've got a big TV. I'm in the kitchen. I've got a TV. Yeah.
They had the
on the green screen.
They had it was playing Gordon Ramsay in America. Yeah. People starting restaurants or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was just, I couldn't tell if it was completely fake because it looked staged anyway. The light, but that's to do with the lighting had to be perfect. And it's just a little restaurant, tiny little restaurant that he's coming to fix. The shouting and screaming all over the place. Edited, it just looks tacky. And at the end, the guy wants to get married, but he's saying, I can't afford it. So they pay for the marriage to happen in the restaurant. And I thought, that's the biggest day of their life. And you've just cheapened it by saying, well, while we're here, there's some couple of quid, let's do it in the restaurant and bung it out. And I'm like, yeah. And I just thought, this is so fucking tacky. Like, oh yeah, this you're getting the biggest day of your life, let's just bung it in the last 5 minutes of the show. You stick it out in one episode. I just thought, this is like, I want to be sick. Like,
yeah, but if they paid for it, fuck it.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm angry. I don't know if I'm angry at the TV company. I'm angry at the people for going along with it. Is it a fake marriage? And this is just bollocks.
All of that.
I think. I remember, like, to this day, I remember watching that and going, I fucking hate people. I hate society. That this is like.
That's when it began, guys. We can trace it back now.
Yeah.
So when we get the time stone.
I remember there was one where I see something and there's people auctioning things, or they open up a garage and there's stuff in there that you can have, or something like that.
Storage hunters.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. They open it up and they go, ooh, and they go, and it's just, oh, here's something that looks exactly like a motorbike with a tyre sticking out. Ooh, that could be worth something. And they pull it off, and it's an old tyre with like a coat hanger. And you go, oh, just randomly had to look like...
But then they'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe I spent this. And then it's like, oh, I just happened to find this golden mask from the Inca, the high period of the Inca Empire.
Yeah, or here's a plate.
A copy of Action Comics #1.
Here's a plate with some flies buzzing around it. Don't want that. Oh no, it's from the Victorian era on its own. Just as well. Oh God, it was. And there was one, I remember seeing one where it kept cut. Oh, that was it. I was working in the shop and it had the TV in there. And it cut back. And every time it cut back to the guy, it was a different background, but him saying stuff. I think we've got to keep the same fucking background. because it was changing to where it was changing to the presenter talking. It would have. I remember once it had a number. 1409. It had on the back of on this. Does that mean? What do you call where you keep your car? Garage.
I'm just distracted by it. Sounds like there's a plane circling.
It sounds like someone's reversing.
It sounds like a drone overhead.
I'm thinking it's North by Northwest. They're coming for you, Theo.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. This camera kept cutting to where the presenter was talking, and it changed the number on the where he was standing behind him on the garage. The number changed, so they'd edited in him talking at another time, like from somewhere else. But I couldn't even be bothered to film it at the time. I was just, it's so shitty. It's just so crap, and we're so dumb for watching it. Charles, I'm looking at you. I'm hoping you're going to have a cessation from all this. I think you could cut it out of your life. It's not good for you, Charles. It's not good for you.
No, it's not. It rots my brain. I know that.
Yeah. Rots your, it is.
Yeah, I haven't got much of a brain left either.
It's the candy floss of TV.
Yeah.
You just keep eating it. You've got to stop. Only once a day. So there we go. I think we've covered the history of celebrity. That can go into the annuals. That can be taught at universities. They can listen to this and
it's
do a
definitive
thesis.
now.
Yeah, definitive guide. We should use that
as
study
into insanity.
Yeah, we should use instead of the guide we should put the definitive guide. It just sort of like to be sarcastic, just for a laugh,
like a winking emoji,
just to get sort of like people that are seriously into the subject to listen to it. And just
no
go, what
fucking
the
around.
fuck?
Yeah, just
yeah. Oh, it's ironic. Yeah, we've been funny. But we'll put the book thing on the thing on the
cards
on the shelf.
Yeah,
the book on the shelf.
Just give me a few months head start. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just got to go through iTunes audiobooks to make sure it's on there, so I can listen to it unabridged. But that's it. Yeah, so
cool.
That's another show. Again, the kind of reminder, everybody, this has been a free podcast. You have not been charged for this show.
So no refunds.
Yeah, definitely no refunds.
And thanks for staying this long as well.
Yeah, if you are still here, thank you. Unless you've just force-pulled into the end.
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Well done.
Yeah. So there's been this is the only edited Vialucci podcast. That's a little secret thing there, because we've had to stop the show halfway through due to Andrew's technical problems.
I know.
So Kerem's going to try and seamlessly, surgeon-like stitch the show together. So it sounds as good as possible when you don't notice it.
It's a shame as it happened just as we were about to reveal who really killed Epstein.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to listening back to see what Kerem does with the editing, just to see the jump.
No pressure.
Yeah. But anyway, so we're going to have a few stitches halfway through the show, but they'll hopefully go over time. But that's the show. So thank you very much.
Great.
And I'll speak to you next time.
Goodbye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Take care and stay clean.
Stay safe, yes.
Stay clean.
Stay clean.
I meant okay, that sounded weird, but I meant
yeah, we'll end it there.
non-germy.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Not free of drugs, but also free of drugs.
Yeah. Only small amounts. And only illegal ones.
Yeah, well.
Because the prescription ones are too
only a
dangerous.
little bit. Yeah.
All right, let's end there. Bye-bye.